Picture this. A college student has access to the entire internet. A prisoner has a concrete box. One has literally unlimited resources, libraries, tutors, anything they could ever want. The other has, well, nothing. Maybe a single book if they're lucky. And yet, somehow, the person with nothing learns faster.
It's a paradox that really gets under your skin, doesn't it? It reveals this deep, kind of uncomfortable truth about how our brains actually work. And what's so fascinating is that the answer isn't some secret technique. It's a set of principles, hidden right there in plain sight. So let's break down the 3 core principles that make this happen and see how you can actually use them.
The whole idea really hinges on this simple, completely counterintuitive thought. Genuine learning doesn't come from having everything. It's actually born from constraint.
I mean, just look at this contrast. On one side, you've got a world of infinite information, endless tabs open, a million possibilities pulling at you. On the other side, total scarcity, just 4 walls and time. The real mystery is how this deprivation somehow creates the perfect environment for genius. And this isn't just a theory, it has actually happened. Right? This isn't some hypothetical, this is a real human transformation. He couldn't even write a coherent letter when he went in. He came out a leader who could literally change the world with his words. So, how did he do it? Well, it all starts with the first and maybe the most important principle.
Think about it. You have the freedom to go anywhere, so your mind goes nowhere. Your phone buzzes, you check it. A new show is out, you watch it. You're sitting in a lecture, but you're not really listening. You're scrolling. A prisoner doesn't have that option. They're living in what is essentially a forced dopamine detox.
And this is where the damage becomes crystal clear. See that number? 23. According to a big study from the University of California, that's how many minutes it takes, on average, to fully refocus after just one single interruption.
And this just perfectly illustrates the problem. If it takes you 23 minutes to get back on track, but you're getting knocked off track every 3 minutes, well, the math just doesn't work out, does it? You never actually achieve a state of true focus. Your brain is just constantly, desperately trying to catch up.
This state, the one we can never seem to reach, is what author Cal Newport calls deep work. It's where the real learning, the real high-level thinking happens. Prison creates this state by force. It's not that prisoners are smarter, it's that their brains are finally being allowed to work the way they were designed to. But here's the thing, a detox brain is only half the battle. To keep that focus going for months or even years, you need more than just a quiet room. You need a fire. And that leads us right into the second principle.
Because the kind of motivation you find in a prison cell is completely different from what most of us ever experience. It's not about getting ahead in life, it's about not being left behind forever. Think about it. You might study for a good grade or to get a better job, and those are fine motivators for sure. But a prisoner who's learning law isn't chasing a diploma. They're often literally fighting for their life because maybe their public defender is overworked and just isn't effective.
That thought, that changes everything. This isn't just motivation anymore. This is survival. Learning becomes as essential as breathing. And there's actually a scientific reason why this is so incredibly powerful.
See, when the stakes are that high, your brain flags the information as critical for survival. This triggers a powerful learning principle called desirable difficulty, a term coined by the psychologist Robert Bjork. It basically means the struggle itself is what makes the information stick. Your brain doesn't just learn it, it carves it into your memory.
And this brings us right back to Malcolm X. He didn't copy the dictionary for extra credit. He did it because the shame he felt from not being able to write a proper letter completely broke him. That pain became his fuel. He wasn't just learning words, he was rebuilding his own identity from the absolute ground up.
All right, let's talk about the final piece of this puzzle. You can have unbreakable focus and life or death motivation, but you can still fail if the information doesn't actually stick. This is where the prisoner's final advantage comes in, and honestly, it's the most counterintuitive one of all. This is the great paradox of our time, isn't it? We have infinite access to information, and because of that, we retain almost none of it. Our brain knows it doesn't have to.
This was actually proven in a 2011 study at Columbia University. They called it the Google effect. It's a form of what they call cognitive offloading. Basically, why should your brain waste precious energy storing information it knows is just a quick search away? We've essentially outsourced our memory to our devices.
But prisoners don't have that luxury. They can't just look it up later. When they have only one book, They don't just read it, they master it. They'll read it 10 times, analyze every single sentence, and internalize every lesson. That scarcity forces a depth of understanding that most of us, we rarely ever achieve.
So the real question is, how do we apply these incredible lessons without, having to go to prison? The answer is to intentionally, deliberately replicate these constraints in our own lives.
So here it is. Let's call it the prisoner's protocol. First, you build your own cage, a cage from distraction. Turn off the phone, block out the noise, and carve out sacred time for that deep work. Second, you have to raise the stakes until they feel real. Connect what you're learning to a mission that genuinely matters to you, something with real consequences if you fail. And finally, you have to embrace the power of scarcity. Don't just skim 10 books, master one.
Ultimately, it all really comes down to this one question. We've allowed our most valuable cognitive asset, our own memory, to live outside of ourselves, in our phones. The prisoner's paradox teaches us that true power and true knowledge don't come from adding more. They come from taking away everything that doesn't matter, until only the essential remains.
For more videos like this, like and subscribe to the channel.